nice to have you all on this call. And for those of you who are streaming through Facebook Live, welcome. We have a fun and insightful conversation planned today with the founders of the Blinddance Festival and our very own Myrna. So Myrna will be guiding us through a meet and greet with these incredible founders. They will be letting you know more about this film festival and answering any questions that you may have. So for those of you who are in the Zoom audience, feel free to utilize the chat or the Q&A icons at the bottom of your screen. You can type your question there throughout the conversation, and towards the end, we will be able to answer any questions you have. For those of you in our Facebook audience, feel free to utilize the comments section. And again, we will answer those questions at the end. So I will go ahead and pass it to Myrna, who is the head coach at IrisVision. Myrna has a series of questions prepared, and we will be presenting this in sort of a meet and greet format. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Myrna.
Awesome. Thank you, Mel. So hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Morning.
Yeah, whenever you're joining us from, right? So very excited to have Ben and Bari with us today from Blinddance. I'll just go ahead and get right into it. So Ben, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know that you have an eye condition, so can you kind of give us an idea of what life has been like?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for having us here. And the Blinddance Film Festival, we love all of the work you do at IrisVision. And I want to tell you, we just got back from LA. We were at the Guide Dogs of the Desert filming with the amazing blind magician Ryan Fox. And he pulled out his IrisVision and he put it on someone's head that was visually impaired and blind so they could read their card. And it was so cool. So there was some technology magic going on top of the magic brought to you by IrisVision. Just saying. So with my eye condition, I'm legally blind with retinitis pigmentosa currently. But in my teens, I had detached retinas in both of my eyes, chronically detaching, which led me to find out later on that I also had a more significant condition of my eyes, retinitis pigmentosa. When I was 18 years old, I was very, very happy and excited and blessed to join the Gen Y theater in Sundance Film Festival with a short film. It was just a short one. And it was because I was accepted into the Sundance Summer Academy. And I was very excited about making films. But then I was told I was going blind just a couple months later. And at that time, I didn't understand what was possible for our community. I really did not know. And I'm excited to tell you, I know filmmakers who are blind and visually impaired now, and I'm one of them. And I'm happy to be back to making films, but I took 20 years off. And my mission today is to help with the unemployment rate amongst our community, but specifically that 75% employment rate is just, when you hear that, it's heartbreaking. But more than that, if you talk to some of us, the 25% that are employed, not all of us have jobs that we really want to have, but we're just happy to be employed. Mm-hmm. My love for film, I feel, can translate with all of us out there that have a love for film, sharing our stories, telling the world what we do for work, how we do that work, the tools we use that help us get that work done, and how we love what we do in the world. And so that's my goal and that's my mission. And Bari Azman is the co-founder with me in Blinddance Film Festival. And we're here to talk to you about just that very thing, getting back to work, loving it, and how we do that work.
Awesome. Thank you, Ben. And Bari, I know that you have an affiliation with IrisVision from way back. So yes. Can you kind of tell us about yourself and how you came into IrisVision?
Absolutely. Myrna, thank you so much
Sure.
to the entire IrisVision team. And we're just so happy to be here and to be able to share some, great information, but also talk about, great technology. So my name is Bari Azman, and I am the co-founder of the Low Vision Shop. And I had the opportunity, personally, I have had the opportunity to start working with IrisVision before the company was even called IrisVision. So my relationship with IrisVision goes way back, and it goes back to the days of probably, we're talking about 5.5 to 6 years ago, when we were first introduced to IrisVision, when Professor Frank Werblin came out to visit myself and my team in Baltimore. And that was when we got our first, our hands, the first time we got our hands on IrisVision. And we were just so impressed with the technology and the software as far as, what was being presented to us. And we knew from that moment on that IrisVision is going to be a key factor in helping individuals with sight loss. And so, it's fascinating to see the technology continue to get better and better over time. And I remember from that first meeting how we wanted all those bells and whistles, and I think a lot of those bells and whistles that we had dreamed of back then are here today. And I know that the team at IrisVision is always working to further improve the technology and bring better options to the sight loss community. So yeah, definitely, it's deeply rooted as far as my personal involvement in IrisVision. I feel that I was a key player in helping things get off the ground, and we love the technology. It's definitely it's a go-to piece of technology that is helping so many people out there.
Absolutely. So, yes, and it has come a long way. We are always innovating, changing, making things better for our users and our potential users. So yeah, that's awesome. It's really cool to know that you were there from pretty much the beginning, and now here we are today, coming back around full circle, and that was great.
Yep.
And it's funny the way it all happened. Like I saw Ben through Sam the Blind Life's Facebook, and I liked what he was doing with Blinddance. So that's how we all came together. So it's really cool how
it's a small world,
right?
And it gets smaller and smaller every day. And the way we're able to connect, and if you have you establish a relationship with someone, again, it really can make the world very small. And I think it's it's just an important message in general for anyone out there listening to this, that how important it is to be able to network and utilize your network at the appropriate times.
Right, absolutely. So Ben, tell us a little bit about Blinddance. Tell us about what it's about, what your mission is.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, shout out to Sam CV from the Blind Life. Woo! Yep. And I met him.
We love you, Sam. We love you, Sam.
The first time at CSUN, and I wanted to actually take a minute to say he was walking around with a real serious camera, and I could see him through my tunnel. And I walked up to him and said, "Oh my gosh, you're Sam CV from the Blind Life." This is like 2 or 3 years ago. He goes, "Yes, I am." And I go, "And you're a photographer, filmmakers?" "Yes, I am." And I just wanted to see if I remembered that. That leads me to tell you about at the Blinddance Film Festival. It is our dream for young people, or people of any age really, but like I'm thinking about the young person who's 17, 16, 15, 14. It's like, what are you gonna do with your life? Mm-hmm. And they also know they're going blind, and they just were like, in the past, like, oh, I can never be a filmmaker, I'm blind. Oh, that's like a punch to my gut to even say those words, because that was what I did say. So when I saw Sam CV with this real professional, serious camera, and I literally, a light bulb went off in my head again. I was just like, there are people out there that are actually making films, that are serious about it. Not just, oh, hey, I'm going to make a little video. No, that are serious about filmmaking and blind. And my heart like lit on fire at the idea of getting back to filmmaking. And at first there was like this quiet little ember inside of my heart, and I was like just whispering, and I thought if I'd spoke too much about it or too loud, maybe my mom or my dad or someone I love or somebody like, oh well, Ben, just come on, we love you, just go back and get a job as an accountant, 9 to 5, insurance, all that, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And to me it was really important to follow this dream, and so I was very selective on like who I talked to about it at first, because like, I don't know about you, Myrna, but for me, going blind is a big thing already. Yeah. And then the idea of like, what am I going to do for employment in the future? The people I spoke to originally about what I would do in the future, about my independent plan for employment, you know, through the vocational rehabilitation office in your ticket to work type of situation. If you're blind, you get one of those, and the government's awesome and helps you in many ways get back to work. And they ask you what you want to do. And I did tell those folks I would like to be a filmmaker. And the first thing they said is go find some successful filmmakers that are blind and let's see what they did to become that. But I got to tell you, it wasn't very excited feedback that I received. And that's okay, because there was a lot of amazing feedback and encouragement I got for other types of stuff that I value. I want to be very clear on that. Sure. Because like, what if I'd said I wanted to be a pilot? And I think that that was kind of the way it was heard by people I care about that are good people. And I do love, by the way. And as I told them that, hey, I want to be a filmmaker, but you're going blind. It's like I'm saying, I want to be a pilot, or I want to, you know, I want to be a taxi driver or something like that. And from that point forward, I realized that it was going to be an uphill battle, but I also believed that there was going to be a critical mass point where we had made some films and people saw those films and their hearts would catch fire like Bari's has, and other people that believe that people that are blind can make films. And then that whole discussion starts. Well, what does it mean to be a filmmaker? Does that mean that a person has to point a camera and they're the only person behind the camera the whole time? That's your filmmaker? Well, no, we got this whole discussion going, and yes, you can make films, even if you can see nothing with your eye, because true vision comes from, as we all know, the heart. Right. And it comes from teamwork. When we put the little embers from our hearts, just a little embers together, with your ember, Myrna, and with Bari, with Mel, with Sedona Dave up in Sedona, these different types of people are making films with Ryan Fox in LA. Those little embers add up. And that's where bonfires come from. And that's what's up. That's what Blinddance is all about, to show the world, local to global, that filmmaking is more than possible, but it's beautiful and it's artful and it's meaningful, and there's education and awareness raised, but there's also dreams that people thought would only ever be dreams in our community, and their dreams are coming true. And we're being invited to join big screens, literally like as COVID's dying down and people are coming back to life and screens are opening theaters. Theaters are asking us to bring films in and actually put them on real screens with people with popcorn in their hands, eating it and watching films made by blind folks. Pardon me, folks that are blind. We got to keep people first. So before I ramble, that's really where we're at right now. And I just get excited to talk about it. And I'd like to thank Bari for believing in our community and for being a true champion of the people that want to carry their dreams into the world, but have a few questions on how to make that happen. And really, that's one of the things that Blinddance is really, really focused on, is if a person that's blind says, hey, I have a story, I have a basic idea of how to tell it, can you help me find the rest of the ways? We can only make so many films, but the answer is yes. And we're talking to a lot of different people, and we're making some of those films, and as we can, we're making more.
That's awesome. I'm gonna have to get in touch with you guys later then.
Hey, you're already in touch. I'd love to talk to you. Whatever you got to say, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah.
I bet you have a cool film. I have a couple ideas of what you might be wanting to make a film about, but I'm really curious.
Yeah. Well, stay tuned, I guess, huh?
Okay. I wasn't going to ask you live. I left it kind of open-ended in case you wanted
to.
I want to further also take one step further what Ben, brought to the table there. But I also want to say that, from my part, and what really brought myself and Ben together was that there's a lack of awareness out there in the general public about sight loss. And for me, it's literally like I literally eat, sleep, and breathe everything to, related to sight loss. And it's, how is it that myself and then we as a team here, how do we make the world a better place? How do we create the higher level of awareness, create the advocacy,
right? So
people, whether in airports, train stations, or going out to a restaurant, McDonald's, or wherever it may be, how do you make it better for someone else? So people are educated and they have that awareness about sight loss. And I think the vehicle, the tool that we are created through the digital experience of filmmaking, that is what is so critical about this.
And I really appreciate that you're saying sight loss versus vision loss, because I'm really passionate about that. I don't believe I lost my vision. I believe I lost my sight, my physical sight. I believe my vision is intact. So I really, really like that you're referring to it as sight loss versus vision.
Absolutely, and absolutely, and we've had this conversation in the office, and one of my colleagues, when we were coming up with a name for a support group, which we have, one of the things that we came up with was like, we're going to call it the sight loss support group of, Baltimore and beyond, but we're not going to use the name vision loss because everyone has vision. It's just
Right.
possible that some people may have a little different, level of sight.
Right, exactly. So Barry, tell us a little bit about your project that you were working on in Sedona, Arizona.
So yeah, it's not a little project. It's actually quite a large project.
Right.
So we just wrapped up filming a full feature length film called Sedona Blind, and this was, Ben Fox, B Fox, is the mastermind behind the Sedona Blind concept, the overall movie, and the complete, direction as far as where this is going. And we brought out a group of, Ben, we were about 15 plus as far as the group. We flew out to Sedona. We rented a house where all the participants stayed. We had, between myself and a couple of other of my colleagues, we had rented vans for the transportation. And we brought this an amazing group of individuals, different backgrounds, different, locations throughout the United States, different levels of sight. And we brought everyone together and created this incredible, I'm going to call it a tribe slash family that will forever be bonded together over the experience that we just had. So it was, again, we were together for about 5 days as a complete group. Sedona Dave, who lives in Sedona, Arizona, was our gracious host. And one of the things that Sedona Dave set out was that he himself has sight loss. He loves to hike, to go out on the trails, and to be able to share that experience, and wanted really to, and will be, taking groups of people out on the trails. And this was, to highlight Dave's passion for nature, going out on the trails, showing that it can be done. Just because you're living with RP, macular degeneration, Stargardt's, or any other sight loss condition, doesn't mean you have to hold yourself back. You can accomplish. And Dave has, taken this to a whole nother level, developing his own mobility cane for the trails. And, we went out there and we did all different sorts of, activities. And not only did it changed everyone's life on so many different levels. And we can't wait, obviously, I'm not going to go into details, but there were, comments on film that created water flows of tears of how this has impacted people's lives. So it's, it's a multi-dimensional film as far as, Dave taking everyone on the trails, individuals experiencing the trails for the first time, vortexes, wolves, all kinds of experiences that were created. And it was truly a one of a kind experience. And, for me, and I personally, I'm all about creating experiences, for myself and for my colleagues and my friends. It's what we get on our personal resume as far as experiences, not your resume, your work resume. What can we capture in the short period of time that we're here on Earth and live life to the fullest? And this, I think this trip really, really was, that's what the focus was: breaking down barriers, saying that you can do it, you have nothing to be afraid of, and that's, and giving individuals that level of independence and freedom.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, I definitely feel the same way with how, where you're saying just because you lost some sight doesn't mean you can't do certain things, right? So like hiking and exercising, jogging. I walked 24 miles just a couple weeks ago because I wanted to. And it was quite the experience. It was a lot of physical and mental and spiritual, everything. It was an emotional roller coaster in every way, but yeah, I mean, we can do it. And it's so cool that you guys were able to capture that on film, because now it's there forever, and it's going to be available for people to watch and to be inspired by. So that's very cool.
Yeah, and even there's so many things that I personally witnessed, and we went on trails like people didn't just never even imagine that it even existed, but we have to be careful with cactus on the right side and the left side. We were going through narrow pathways, the rocks, the climbing. It was incredible, and everyone who joined us really appreciated it, and it was just so nice to see how much of an impact this particular experience, this trip created for everyone.
Yeah, awesome. So, Ben, you guys have a big event coming up for Blinddance in June, right?
Correct. Yes. We'll June 14th. We'll be in the Sedona International Film Festival in the main theater for 8 hours worth of programming from filmmakers who are blind. 8 hours worth of films from filmmakers who are blind will be shown June 14th up in Sedona. We're really excited. And it's exciting to talk about this, like, because it's never been done before. There's film festivals out there that are amazing and are a group of people that have come together of all sorts of disabilities, but for a serious top 25 international film festival to invite us in and give us their main theater for an entire day, because it's a week-long festival and they have multiple theaters, but their main theater, they're going to be ushering people to it all day, saying, by the way, have you seen Sedona Blind? Have you seen Borat is Not Retired? And then another series of films that we've made together and that our friends have made. And we're really excited. And that's the very first in-person live premiere of a handful of films by filmmakers who are blind and Blinddance Films. And our big first ever Blinddance Film Festival standalone, just Blinddance and our other partners in our community, is in November. So, but this is the first time that we'll ever come together in a theater, and that's June 14th. We're so excited about it.
That is very exciting. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna try to make it up there for sure. Take my
try. You know what Yoda says? Yoda says
there is no try.
Do or do not. And you're just down south like 5 minutes. Come on up. Come to Sedona.
Yeah.
Arizona.
I'll take my IrisVision with me.
Oh my goodness. I'll tell you what, you can pick your own seat in the theater, wherever you want.
All right.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, using IrisVision to watch movies is actually really, really cool because, before going to a movie theater, of course, I can't see. I don't have my central sight, right? With Stargardt's disease. So I be like, sit wherever you want. It doesn't really matter. Close, far, middle, it doesn't matter. But with IrisVision, I could literally sit in the way back if I want to and see the entire movie without having to elbow my neighbor to say, why is everyone laughing?
Oh my gosh.
It's so cool. It's so cool to be able to actually see the detail of the movie. So yeah,
it's very cool. And, just like we're creating experiences for individuals and filmmakers and creating that awareness and advocacy, the same thing can be said about as far as IrisVision, where individuals who are using it are being able to enjoy those experiences and also to create those experiences for themselves. And I personally witnessed, on multiple counts, as far as IrisVision users that we've worked with, and we've done so many activities with some of these individuals, and there really are no limits. It's just what you can think of and create, and that's what you just have to go ahead and take that first step.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we have people working on diamond art, which I had no idea what diamond art was. And when I looked into it, I was like, wow. And I got a diamond art kit for my kid. And I was like, this is really intense. And someone's actually using their IrisVision to do that. And then we have people who are woodworkers, leather work. They work with leather and all kinds of different things that people do with their IrisVision. Filmmakers, I bet, will be coming up soon here with IrisVision. So very cool.
Count on it. And
yeah.
I'll tell you what, I want to have a day at the movies with IrisVision, and I want to film that. And as you said that to me about how much you love watching films with IrisVision, I remember going to movies multiple times with friends of mine that are blind, and with my tunnel vision, feeling guilty that I have a tunnel vision to describe things, but I'm grateful that I can. And I just realized movie theaters, and I'll help with this, I really will, but movie theaters should have an IrisVision that they own, that's just there, that if a person who's blind or visually impaired goes to the movies, they go, by the way, congratulations, if you have one of these eye conditions, this is very likely going to help you. Put it on, sanitize it down afterwards, of course.
Right.
But yeah, I want my friends to have IrisVision at the movies, period. That's just, everybody should have that opportunity.
It's going to happen.
Yes.
I see
Yes, it is. Woo! Great success.
Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
I'll go up this weekend and we'll do a filming of me watching a movie.
Awesome. Come up to Phoenix. We'll go together.
There you go. But
Myrna, I wanted to say something. On this trip, I was traveling with Ben, and Ben and one of my other colleagues were hungry, so they went to McDonald's in the Phoenix airport. And one of the employees at McDonald's realized, probably because they saw Ben's shirt, almostblind.org, but they, obviously they saw his mobility cane and all that, but they came out and they actually brought Ben a braille menu. I've never seen this before. And yes, and
you need to spend more time in Phoenix, Barry, because Phoenix is where it at. Arizona.
I was so impressed to see that this gentleman that worked for McDonald's in the airport was able to recognize and bring out a braille menu, and it was actually a yellow braille menu. It was very, very cool.
That is cool. Yeah, I love that. I want one of those shirts, Ben. Almost Blind. Where can I get one of those?
We got one for you. Barry.
Where can others get one?
Okay, now Barry, are we able to tell everybody where to get these?
If you want, go for it.
I'm on it. These are brand new. These are 2.0. I gotta thank Barry Azman for hooking these up. Oops, hold on. I'm knocking stuff down. I'm just knocking down the computer. I'm so darn excited. You can get these shirts. You go to almostblind.org, and you can get these shirts. Yep. We also have, I'll tell you this, Mira, I don't know about you, but last time I was walking around an office with a hot cup of coffee, right? I was kind of knocking into things every once in a while and spilling it. And people were saying, what, are you blind? And I'd be like, well, almost. I'm almost blind. So now we also have coffee mugs that say almost blind on them as well. So almost blind. Yeah. Awesome. And so we have pins too, and somebody can scan the QR code on the pin and go and check out the website almostblind.org with your own eye condition simulated, and they can see what that's like. And the whole point is to raise awareness about, hey, I am blind. I need this white cane literally for my safety, but I can still see you somewhat. And I'm looking to see you smile. Hi, my name is Ben. I'm almost blind. Good to meet you.
Right.
And that's the whole point. Just to be able to explain it real quick.
I love that. Yeah, because again, as I mentioned earlier, I have my shirts from Sam from the Blind Life, right? And right now I'm wearing my "No, I did not forget my," and then it has a picture of glasses. Yeah. So "No, I did not forget my glasses." And any shirts like that have these kind of messages, I think, are awesome because people like to read shirts. So Almost Blind, I like it. Yeah.
Thank you. We also have Almost Blind on the back too, just small. So if someone's standing behind you in line, does that ever happen to you? You don't see the line move forward and somebody behind goes, hey, go ahead. The lines move forward.
Yeah.
It's just, I feel so much, maybe they won't even notice it, but I know it says on my back, almostblind.org. So I feel more comfortable standing in line. I just feel better about it. So that's what it's about for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Awareness, bringing awareness for sure. That's so important because there isn't very much, I guess you could say, blindness awareness out there. And especially for people like us, Ben, who are partially sighted, it's hard because we, just like one saying is we can see, but we can't see. Right. So it's like people see me and they think I can actually see. But when they see me holding my money like to my face or, going the wrong direction, they're saying it's over there. And over there is like literally anywhere to me. So I just start walking in a random direction. No, the other way. Oh, okay. Yes. So, it's because, I can't really see. So it's cool. And then if people then realize, then they start speaking to you loudly. And it's like, well, I can hear, I just can't see. Right. So have you ever gotten that, Ben, where people like speak up?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
you're like,
And they don't even talk to me. They'll talk to the person next to me, and that just makes me feel like I'm not a
yeah,
person.
you're like, I'm right here. Right here, I can hear you.
But it's people that mean well. It's people that it's
Yeah.
ironic. It's literally ironic. It's like, I'm gonna put extra effort to communicate with you, but that's the voice going up. That's like, they just don't know how. So I'm identifying the effort. So thanks for that, right, to everybody. So
Yeah.
hey,
Thank
so there's a new term I heard. I wonder if you've ever heard this. Our friend Ryan Fox, the blind magician, he's hard of hearing, and he may be the first person to ever say this. He says, I'm hard of hearing and hard sighted, hard of sight and hard of hearing. And if
Oh,
nothing else, you go, what do you mean hard of sight? Well, hard of hearing, it's you can hear some things, but not very well. Yeah, well, I'm also hard of sight. And that's how he explained it. And I'm like, bro, that's brilliant. That's pretty freaking brilliant. Hard of sight and hard of hearing.
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to chat with me today. I love what you guys are doing with Blinddance. Oh, Ben, tell us about the Blinddance challenge.
I was gonna say, you got to talk about that.
Yeah.
If you want to give me a beat, I'll just go ahead and do the Blinddance challenge. I'm just kidding, everybody. It's audio describe yourself. It's very simple. At the Blinddance Film Festival, we're asking everybody audio describe their films. And when we said that, like, audio description, some people have never heard the term, and other people that have think it's really difficult. It's very simple. For example, in the film, I could say, if it's a documentary film, it's even easier. I'm like, I love sitting on this beautiful porch with the trees behind me and this blue sky, and I'm on this deck, it's just awesome. And I wouldn't need to have the voice that comes and says, Ben sits on a deck with beautiful background and blue skies, because I literally said it in my narration of what I'm doing. And so we have some filmmaker workshops talking about what audio description is. That's one thing. And from that, though, came the idea of the Blinddance Challenge, which is so simple and so fun. It's you dance for 15 to 30 seconds, and you simply audio describe your moves. And you can have your friend do it. So if Barry wanted to describe me, like, what am I doing, Barry? What am I doing? Can you audio describe me?
Ben is moving his hands in a circular motion and dancing in his seat to a beat. Hands are flying all over the place.
I don't think that'd be a winner, but that's that simple. The whole idea is not to make a crazy music video and with special effects and a fog machine and lights. No, it's just audio describe your dance for a chance at big prizes. That's the whole thing. And we want people to, at the end, say, and Myrna, I challenge you to the next Blinddance challenge. So at the end, you challenge one of your friends. It's just 10, 15, it's 10 to 30 seconds of your dancing audio described. Okay. It could be as simple as you just going, beedoo, 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 beedoo. I'm just put my arms up and down going, beedoo, 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 beedoo. And that's it. Wow, I don't know that I'd win, but that's you enter. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We've had some great challenges come in, though. I want to tell you, check it out at blinddance.org, and you can check on /challenge.
Yeah, and I just noticed someone put in the chat they wanted to volunteer. If anyone wants to get involved and volunteer, we would love to speak with you. You can send us an email at info@blinddance.org, BLINDDANCE.org, info@blinddance.org. We're always looking for volunteers, and we have a great team of volunteers that are helping us out. So,
and we feed our volunteers. Our volunteers get food, and sometimes it's really good food, depending on the day. So you know.
And you guys also have sponsorship programs, right?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we do. We do. Absolutely. We love our sponsors. And I want to just say, for the record, if you're a sponsor of Blinddance, we have very cool thank you packages that can include custom created films and video content by our working while blind film crew. So very cool. It's pretty interesting because you make a donation to us, and we are training people that are blind to make films who want to, and we'll train them. And we have a professional filmmaker that kind of mentors and audits our work, so we guarantee a good product. But it's awesome. People get back to work that are blind. Just want to throw that out there. Working with blind crew.
And one last thing, of course, when you're visiting blinddance.org, feel free to make a donation as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
We are an official non-for-profit 501c3, so definitely feel free to make a donation.
Blind filmmaking.
Yes, blinddance.org. Blinddance.org. Love it. So are there any questions in the chat, Mel or Barry? I mean, you guys.
Yeah, wonderful. So one of the questions was just, they mentioned Ben, Barry, and Myrna. Thank you for this offering and for your time. And they were asking Ben and Barry how they can get involved with, which Barry just answered. So again, just that email as well. I will tag it in our Facebook post. And for those of us who, were not able to attend the session live, in the email where we send the re-recording of this webinar, we will include that information as well. We do urge you to get involved with this incredible festival. If you are looking for any additional information, also feel free to contact us at IrisVision, and we'd be happy to pass you along to the Blinddance team.
Thank you. And
yeah.
Sorry, Matt, go ahead. I just want to think, if you don't mind, just interject for 1 second. I'm wearing a baseball cap. Ben is also wearing a baseball cap with the Blinddance logo. For anyone out there that can't see that logo, I just want to go for a quick.
It's tactile.
It's tactile, but it's hard to. There is the braille letter B, starting from the left. Then we have these two arches, which represents as far as sharing. And then underneath the arches, we have like an EKG, which represents the heartbeat of the sight loss community.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Yep. And just imagine if you're a filmmaker out there who's visually impaired or blind, you have a child who may be visually impaired and blind, you put that hat in their hand, it's tactile. They know that's a logo of their parent who made a film for Blinddance. Just put it in their hands. They know what hat it is. And that's the vision, guys. That's the vision. It's something we can all be proud of as a community and to share it with the world, local to global, the world's first film festival by the blind for the world.
I love it.
Wonderful. Perfect. Well, thank you both so much, Myrna, Barry, Ben. It was such a pleasure to have you as our guests for this episode. If anyone from our audience has additional questions, please do let us know and we will be able to forward your information to both Ben and Barry.
Awesome.
Yeah, other than that, we thank you again. We wish you the best of luck and we're looking forward to future collaborations.
Thank you so much, Mel. Thank you, Myrna, everyone. Take care, Ben. Have a great weekend.
I'm audio describing. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Yes, thumbs up.
Thanks, guys. It's been a real fun time.
You well.
See you later, IrisVision. Bye, guys.
Let's see those challenges. Take care.
Thanks, guys. Bye.